Hello everybody, my name is Clemens Jütte and I'm a platform architect at Humanitec. Today I want to show you around a little bit through the process of scaffolding a new workload and getting it all over the golden path from development through to production. So let's see how we're going to do this. For this we are following a tutorial on our webpage. So let's quickly see how we're going or what we are actually following. We are following this tutorial here. Scaffold a new workload and create staging and production environments. It has a few prerequisites. The gist is, if you actually want to achieve the prerequisites in the quickest way possible, please follow one of our reference architectures. And you can find those reference architectures right over here. Yeah. Or if you're looking for them in GitHub, you can find them at github.com/Humanitec architecture/reference architecture AWS, for example. And I'm going to use the AWS version today to drive you through. So let's get started. I have actually set that one up already, and I'm going to use the instance number 35 to guide you through. I'm using a tool called dir-env, which is pre-populating my environment with all of the necessary variables so I can directly use my development tooling. This is highly recommended. Okay, so, and I'm using a few functions. So whenever you see me typing shorthands like this, cd, ra, like a change directory reference architecture, or in this case, array, it's open Humanitec reference architecture. And what this does is it opens the Humanitec orchestrator already here in my reference architecture 35 tenant. Right, in here you can't see any application that I'm going to start because it's not yet started. So let's get started, and we're going to use Backstage to scaffold ourselves a nice starting point. Let's go to development, into the active deployment, my Backstage workload, and in here I can find a route, and in the route I can find a host. I copy this. Whoopsie. And here we are inside of the Backstage instance. So I'm going to use the create button up here to start the creation and scaffolding workflow of Backstage. I'm going to choose the pod info service template because that one will provision just plain faster. It has no infrastructure attached. And I'm going to call my application JTest 101. Let's create it. And this happens when it actually already exists. So let's start over. Just if you get this error, this is the reason. Get behind the camera. Okay, let's create this one. This one is going to work. Okay, great. Now I have two links, repository and open in catalog. First of all, I'm going to open the repository, which is a fresh GitHub repo where everything that I need is already present. So we have a score file here, which describes all of the needed infrastructure of my application. And in this case, this is mainly a DNS record. And we also have a route so that DNS record is linked to the ports here using an ingress. And as every good demo, we're having a variable hello, which is putting out world. Great. What we also get is we get a deploy YAML here under .github/workflows. This is actually GitHub action, which is used to build the container. right? Build and notify Humanitec. So it is building the container. It is dropping it into an AWS ECR repository. And at the end, it is using score Humanitec, a command line utility, which is able to translate the score specification, which is platform agnostic, into the format that the orchestrator understands. So that's what it's doing. And as it is having the -- deploy parameter set, it is actually contacting the orchestrator and directly deploying, which is great because I don't need to figure out now how I talk to the orchestrator and how do I actually get all of this done. I just add this to the end of my pipeline and I'm basically done. But here in this scaffolding case, it's already done for me. And just so you see what we are actually deploying inside of the Docker file, it's coming straight from Docker Hub. It's just pod info latest, which is a Go-based microservice harness, and just a one-liner to get something going. Okay, so the GitHub action should have been triggered already. Let's see if that has been done. Initial commit, green checkmark. Sounds good. Okay, cool. Now I can click on Open in Catalog, and I will see here my deployments orchestrated by Humanitec. Great. I can go into my development environment. I can see the workload. I can see everything here, including my DNS, which allows me to quickly open this in the new tab and show you that pod info is up and running. Great. So up here, a little bit hidden, is the Humanitec app logo, which allows me to go to exactly the right place in the orchestrator, my application. And this is where I want to be because now I want to create new environments. So caveat, what I'm going to show you now is something you don't have to use as part of this tutorial. You could literally go ahead and just create new environments. But I want this to be a little bit more realistic, so I go over here to environment types, and in a freshly created instance, I only have development. So I'm going to create staging, short description, staging env, create, and I'm going to create prod, short description, production envs. Great. Okay, now I have all environment types that I want to have. The only thing that I need to do now is I need to go over to resource management, where all of the resource definitions are being held that are actually making up my resources that I can utilize using the orchestrator. And I'm going to go down here to RefArch because this is the Kubernetes cluster. And you can see that my JTest 104 application is already being deployed using this Kubernetes cluster. I need to go to matching criteria because currently only if the environment type is development, this resource definition is being used. So let's add new criteria. And we are going to say if the environment type is all values, then we're going to use this. Because I don't care if it's development, if it's staging, or if it's development, if it's staging, or if it's production, I want that to be used. Okay, great. So let's go over here and go into my JTest 104 application. I want to walk the golden path, which has now gifted me with a great starting point up to production. For that, I need to create a new environment, which we are going to clone from development. The environment type is going to be staging, and the environment ID is going to be staging as well. So let's create this. Because we have cloned from development, here under draft deltas, we will find an untitled draft, which is actually the state that we have in development at the point in time where we cloned. So let's review and deploy this. Click on next. From dev and deploy. So now an environment progression pipeline is running in the background, which is promoting the state that we had, or the deployment state that we had in dev to our new staging environment. Let's wait a few seconds until this has actually happened, because as in yeah, any good best practice driven environment, I don't want to go from development to production. I want to go from staging to production. And for that, for me to be able to do that, I obviously need to wait until this deployment has happened. Here we go, succeeded. Great. So I can now go back to my application up here and I can create another new environment. This time I'm going to clone from staging. Environment type should be prod. And I'm going to call it prod. Create. Draft deltas. Once again, here's the state I already had. Review and deploy. Next. From staging. Deploy. All right. So as soon as this year has finished, I will have actually made it through the tutorial as specified here. I will have scaffolded an application. I've created the environment types. I will have made my way through staging to production. Congratulations, you have successfully completed the tutorial on how to scaffold a new workload and create staging and production environments. And I'm not going to read the rest. You can do so on your own. I hope you enjoyed my video walkthrough and I wish you a wonderful day. Thank you for considering Humanitec.